And welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Football Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host Kenneth Grunfelder, and it's great to have you guys here on this Thursday, September 12th. We have a lot to cover on the show today. Before I get into that, just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the $ icon in the chat. This will help create a super chat that I will acknowledge during the live broadcast, and it just makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate your guys' viewership each and every day. We put out content, so whatever contribution you can make to the show means the world to us. And also the other way of helping out the show is by going to the link, GSMCPodcast.net. And like I said, we appreciate any contribution that you guys can make to our shows. So let's get into what we are going to discuss for today. And the intro of the show went so much better than it did yesterday when I just could not talk to start the show, but that was good. So we're already off to a better start. But let's get into what we're going to discuss. So we're going to talk about the Bills-Dolphins game tonight. Two AFC East teams going at it. So we will get into that. We will also get into talking about Christian McCaffrey and his status going into the 49ers game against the Vikings this weekend. Then I wanted to just get into, kind of put a bow on week one. Just, my takeaways from the games, quarterback concerns, some teams that have playoff aspirations. So should we be hitting the panic button with them? Kind of like how, Rich Eisen does his overreaction, not an overreaction segment. It's kind of going to be something along the lines of that. Just my overall thoughts on the week and things like that. So we'll get into that. We also will discuss the Giants. Talk about Lawrence Taylor and what he said to Carl Banks at halftime before the Giants had that halftime ceremony where they honored their top 100 players, the 100 seasons of the Giants. What Lawrence Taylor said to Carl Banks. I wanted to get into that. And then in the final part of the show, we're going to talk about the Steelers quarterback situation once again. I know I went over the Steelers and talked about them yesterday, but just wanted to go over that. And I know I gave you my take on it, but just kind of going back to that topic again a little bit more, because I know we recapped the game, but just what the Steelers should do at the quarterback position moving forward. And it looks like Justin Fields is going to start again on Sunday. So I just wanted to give you my thoughts on that even more. So that's the rundown for the show. So let's get into the first topic, which is previewing tonight's AFC East matchup between the Dolphins and the Bills. And this is an exciting game. Both teams had comeback victories in week one. The Dolphins coming back against the Jaguars and the Bills coming back against the Cardinals. Tua and Josh Allen both played very well in those games. And, yeah, this is a big game right out of the gate. I said this yesterday. I mean, this game could, decide playoff seeding down the line. Obviously, these two teams will match up again later in the season in Buffalo, and I wanted to check on when that game actually will be played, because if it's being played in November, December, that's going to be some cold weather. So, yeah, but this is a big game right out of the gate. Yeah, so they'll be playing on November 3rd. So it's the temperature is gonna drop by then. So, but anyways, they're in Miami tonight. This game is gonna be a lot of fun, and like I said, there we go with the voice. Like I said, both quarterbacks played very well on Sunday, and I anticipate that they both are gonna have a good game here. They are gonna make their fair share of plays. I think this game is going to be high scoring. So I anticipate that they both will play well. Now, in terms of, some betting stuff when it comes to this game on CBS, where I always go to. So right now the Bills are a 1-point underdog. And actually, no, that's what they opened at, but now they're a 1.5. And the odds on that, the Bills are minus 105. The Dolphins are minus 115. Most people are picking the Bills because they're getting the points. And then in terms of the money line, Bills are plus 110. Dolphins are minus 130. And a lot of people are, at least according to CBS, a lot of people are on the Dolphins money line. And then right now the current over-under is 49. I mean, I do kind of like the over in this game. But, again, I could definitely see this somehow being under. So, yeah. And also when it comes to the defenses, they both force their fair share of turnovers as well. The Dolphins' defense played well against Jacksonville, only gave up 17 points. The Bills, they struggled against Kyler Murray in that offense. And then on special teams, they gave up that kickoff return by DJ Dallas. So, and both teams right now, they're kind of middle of the pack when it comes to rushing yards. I mean, again, the year just started. The Bills rushed for 124 yards last week. Dolphins rushed for 128. Now, I didn't bring this up, but Raheem Mostert, he's out for this game already. Also, Devon Achane was also on the injury report. So, and I think it was a game time decision for him. So that's something to keep an eye on. And Achane is a good player for them. It's just can't stay healthy. So I'm looking on Sleeper right now, my fantasy app, and yeah, dealing with an ankle injury, but the latest, this is from a half hour ago, he'll work out pregame, optimism he plays. So right now he's dealing with a sprained ankle, but, there's some optimism that he will play. Jalen Wright, their rookie running back, who wasn't active last week, could be making his debut, but this could be a game where they rely upon Jeff Wilson. So, he's still in that crowded backfield. So, he's definitely he's gonna be a factor regardless if Achane plays or not tonight. So, but yeah, no, it should be an interesting game. But the other thing I wanted to get to is, you see how on the segment title it's "Can Miami Break Buffalo's Streak?" So if you go back to the second time these two teams met in 2022. Turn off on me. They've won every single game. They won the playoff game. Now, Skylar Thompson did play in that game, but the Bills won that, and they swept the season series last year. So I believe you got to go all the way back to, I think it was week 2 of 2022. That's the last time the Dolphins beat the Bills. And last year, they started off the season hot. Then they went to Buffalo, and Buffalo destroyed them. I think 48-20 was the final score. And then last year, they played each other, final week of the regular season, final game of the regular season. They played on that Sunday night of week 18. And it was a close game, but the Bills ended up winning that game. And that's what led to the Dolphins going to Kansas City, and the Bills got the 2 seed. So, that's why I'm saying this is a big game. So, for me though, I like the Bills to win this game. I think they're going to continue to own the Dolphins here. I think Josh Allen's going to have a monster game tonight. And, he's still trying to build up this rapport with his new receivers. Keon Coleman had a decent game for them last week. Like to see Dalton Kincaid get more involved. See what kind of game James Cook's going to have. But yeah, Josh Allen I think will play well, and like I said, I think Tua's going to play well. I expect the receivers to do their thing. Tyreek Hill, of course, he's going to make his fair share of plays tonight as well. This definitely is going to be a high scoring game. I would lean towards that, but again, wouldn't surprise me if that's not the case. I actually wanted to check the status of Jalen Waddle because, he was evaluated for a concussion, but I don't see the questionable next to his name in fantasy, so I guess he's good to go. So that's big. Yeah, no, I expect this to be a close game, but I like I said, I think the Bills win. I'm gonna say 30-27. That's gonna be my score prediction. Like I said, I think it'll be high scoring, but I think the Bills will ultimately take the win there. But we'll see. Nothing will surprise me. Both teams I have making the playoffs, so it's going to be a fun game. But let's see if the Dolphins can end that streak. But let me know what you guys think. Who do you have winning this game? Let me know in the comments. So we are going to take our first break of the show now. And when we come back, we'll talk about Christian McCaffrey and his status ahead of the 49ers game against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.